The meeting had everything. The data was there, the right people were in the room, the options were visible, the risks were understood, and still the decision didn't move. That kind of meeting is frustrating because it looks responsible from the outside. Nobody can say the team was unprepared, nobody can say the information was missing, nobody can say the right people weren't involved, but somehow the room still circles. Someone asks for one more look at the numbers. Someone adds a caveat. Someone suggests a hybrid approach. Someone says, let's think about this a little more. And quietly, everyone waits to see if the founder will just decide. When that happens, the issue usually isn't the data. It's the hard sentence. The sentence that says who loses, what gets cut, which team slows down so another can move, what priority waits, which customer requests get a no, which project loses people, which timeline no longer holds. That's the sentence. Nobody wants to say it out loud because it feels uncomfortable. It can feel like picking a fight. It can feel like blame. It can feel too direct for a room that has worked hard to stay calm and professional. So the team keeps the conversation at a safer level. More analysis, more scenarios, more nuance, more maybe we can do both. And sometimes more analysis can be genuinely useful, but sometimes analysis becomes cover. The room already knows enough to decide. What's missing is the willingness to own who pays for the decision. That's human drag. It's not a clarity problem. It's not always a process problem. It's a willingness problem. And the cost is bigger than the meeting itself. Because when the hard sentence never gets said, people stop trusting that decisions will actually stay made. And that is closure confidence eroding. The team has seen it before. A decision looks closed in the room. Then an exception comes up. Someone asks whether their project can still keep the people. Someone else asks whether the old timeline can still hold. Someone asks whether this one customer request can sit outside the decision just this once. And that moment teaches the team what the meeting actually meant. If the exception gets granted without naming the trade-off, the decision starts dissolving almost immediately. Not because people are bad, not because they're lazy, because the decision never became practical enough to hold. It stayed abstract. We need to focus. We need to prioritize. We need to move faster. We need to protect the customer experience. Those phrases are always easy to agree with, but they don't close much until they become specific. A hard sentence sounds plainer. We're choosing this, which means that waits. Two people move off that account. The launch date shifts. These 3 requests don't get picked up this quarter. That customer gets a no. Sarah's project pauses so this one can move. That's when the decision becomes real. Not dramatic, not harsh, just real. And here's the thing. The hard sentence often feels bigger before it's said than after. Once it's said plainly, the room can finally work with it. People may not love the decision. They may still have concerns. There may still be tension. But at least the real trade-off is on the table. Before that, everyone is agreeing to a foggy version of the decision. And foggy decisions create quiet rework. Slide conversations. Hedging. Delayed action. People protecting their own interpretation because nobody named the cost clearly enough for the team to share one. So if your meeting has the data, the people, the options, and the risks, but still doesn't close, pause before asking for more analysis. Ask, what sentence are we avoiding? Who pays for this priority? What gets cut? Who slows down? What are we no longer protecting? And after the meeting, ask one more practical question. Who turns this sentence into changed behavior? Because that's where decisions usually hold or dissolve. Who updates the plan? Who tells the person losing resources? Who says no when the old priority tries to sneak back in? Who protects the decision when the first exception request shows up? That's where the meeting becomes real. The goal is not to make leadership conversations harsh. It's to make them honest enough that people can act. Because most teams don't avoid the decision. They avoid the sentence that makes the decision real, and that one sentence can save weeks of quiet rework. That's exactly the kind of pattern the Hidden Drag Diagnostic is built to surface. It helps you see where decisions, ownership, alignment, structure, and hard trade-offs are slowing the business down. You'll find the link in the description. And if your leadership team keeps having complete meetings that still don't close, connect with me. I help founder-led teams find the hidden drag underneath stalled decisions and close the conversations that keep coming back. If this was useful, subscribe for more practical thinking on decision velocity, hidden drag, and how founder-led teams get unstuck. Be sure to share it with someone whose team keeps asking for more data when the real issue may be the sentence nobody wants to say. And be sure to follow along for more. My name is Warren Winowski. Thanks for watching.